Hey everyone, once a month, Jasmine, Jafar, and I conduct an AMA stream where you can ask us questions about relationships, dating, sex, and more. No question is off limit, and this is a chance to get answers from two no-nonsense alpha women who hold nothing back. Here's a clip from our stream that we did last month, and don't worry, I made sure to only include clips that are safe for work. Enjoy. How can I attract a guy I like who is not attracted to me without losing my power and becoming a pick-me or a chaser? There's a hot guy in my circle who also have a good personality that I'm attracted to, but I don't think he's attracted to me. I think he sees me as a colleague or the girl I work with. I didn't show him any attention, nor did I have any short or long conversation with him, even though I like him. Most of the girls in my circle are attracted to him too. So there is a lot of competition, but I have too much pride to get in a competition for a man. I am the only girl in the circle who didn't try to attract him or make a move or do anything to get his attention because I don't want to lose my power. I despise women who are desperate like that, and the girls look pathetic to me when they did that. Is there any way I can attract him while still maintaining my power, or should I forget about him and get with someone else that is attracted to me from the beginning? So this is an easy one. If he's not into you, he's just not into you. And also, if a man has so much attention and he ignores you, okay, that's just a sign that he's not interested in you. You definitely don't. I would say, if you despise being a pick-me and like doing things to get his attention, then why even like go after a guy who don't want you, right? What you think?
Or ask kind of how to get his attention. But we will give you props for not being a pick-me and not going out of your way to try to like do like a lot of what you said was good. Like, I don't want to be somebody that's going out and chasing a guy who's not into me. Like, it doesn't seem like you fucked it up yet, which is
right.
Right.
Yeah.
When it's too late. Way too many questions get to us when we're like, all right, it's over for you. So
right. Facts. Yeah, I don't want to go after someone who doesn't show any attention to me. And also, and I think you know this too, Jasmine, when a guy knows he's, and I hate saying this, but he's the prize, I put that in quotations, because he knows that he's attractive and all these women are coming after him. You don't want to deal with that headache if he's used to getting women like to cater to him, because he's now the black cat. He's the one that's like he's the star. It's a headache. I would never go for someone like that. Also, like I want you to pretend this. Just pretend that you got him, like he showed interest in you. How is that going to work? How is that going to go down? You think that's going to last in a work environment? With all those women, like, because we are vicious. I should know. I am a vicious, right? And they'll be in your business. They'll spread rumors. They'll sabotage your. I just at the workplace, it's different if you guys were living in the same neighborhood or going to a school, but y'all in the workplace, that is just a terrible place to start a relationship. But he's not into you, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say is like if somehow there was like a way that you guys, like, let's say you're working on a project and you guys are spending more one-on-one time together, and then you see that all of a sudden he is making all the effort, he is going above and beyond, he's trying to spend more and more time with you, because it could be the case that he's not attracted to you off the bat, but if he were to spend time with you and you really see, okay, like now he's like that's a different situation, but you shouldn't be doing anything, or you shouldn't be forcing that, and you shouldn't be betting on that. Like, if he's good eye candy and you have time, like you have a situation where it comes up where, we're in the break room together. Like, I'm not saying it's the worst thing ever to like have a conversation, but like also make sure he's the one chasing. Do not ever do that.
Yeah. Always be chased. Don't ever be the one chasing. And don't, like I said, if he's not interested, don't worry about it. Go for somebody who wants you. So
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And again, if you're just interested in him based off of just that he's cute, he could also suck like a lot once you actually get to know him. I'm never interested in men just based off of how they look, because it's
Right.
like once they're in front of you and you're like, ugh, and that could very well be the case too. So don't even feel like you're missing out on something.
Very pretty ones. I did a very pretty boy, and I mean, he was a headache. I was like, I'll never do that again.
Yeah, they're not the best conversationalists. They're kind of, you know, you're not
lazy in bed, take up a lot of time in the bathroom. Like, oh my God, like, no.
Yeah, I agree. So that's our answer for that one.
All right. I hate my fiance's brother. I really, really hate him. And I just found out this past weekend that my future husband has made him the best man. I don't want him there at all. I am against him being the best man and attending our wedding. This is my special day and my parents are paying for everything. How do I tell my fiance that his brother is not going to be his best man because he's not going to because he's not invited to the wedding? What would you two do? Also, I don't care if this angers my fiance and his family. Okay, I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
What we would do or what we should do, because that's a very different thing. I have very different answers on what I should do and what I probably would actually do in this situation. It's really hard, right? Because it's a brother. Like,
yeah, it's a brother, dude. Like, yeah.
Or someone else. And also, I don't know, like, is the brother rude to you? Is the brother, like, disrespectful to you?
Yeah, this is one of these questions we don't have any background information on.
Like, is this someone who doesn't support your union? Because I think then you have if he's just like annoying and you don't like his laugh and stuff, like this might be a situation where I think you might just have to suck it up. But I need a little bit more context. I'm gonna be honest, if it was me, I would. No, he's not coming, but like, right. But that's probably not the most mature way to go about things. So this is one of those. What does it do as I say, not as I do?
Right. Actually, I'm similar to you. I'm going to need more context. However, it is how I would go about it. I would actually do it on, I would actually do it on a spur of the moment to where he's out of town and he can't come, right? So like I would do it like that, or elope, or do it in Las Vegas and like just surprise people, or even get pre-married and then have a ceremony where he's not included. It doesn't matter because we're already married.
Yeah. Or compromise. Be like, he can't be the best man, but he can come and sit in the very back.
Yeah. But Jasmine is right. Like they're brothers.
Yeah,
like
brothers.
What did he
now you're gonna
do?
piss off your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a family. Like it's not just like his friend, because I think with a friend it's much different. But they're like brothers. Everyone's gonna be like, why isn't your brother here? Like you're gonna create kind of. You have to think about the twos. You're gonna kind of, if you want to be the star of the show on your wedding, the brother not being a part of the wedding or there at all is gonna cause enough. Like you're not gonna be.
Good point. That's a good point. Yeah, people gonna be like, well, where's Johnny? Well, where's Billy? Why isn't he there?
Creating this storyline or this drama or this narrative amongst all the guests, and that's just going to take attention away from you, right? Because if I attended a wedding and I was like, oh, the groom's brother isn't, especially if I knew him, I'd be like, why isn't he here? Like that would be on the top of my mind, and instead of looking at how good you look now. So
yeah, that's a very good point. Because exactly. But I would be like, if he's not paying for anything, he doesn't really get to say.
Yeah.
So if your parents are paying for everything, y'all organizing everything, this, that, and the other, like, nah. But I still would, if you could, listen, I'm curious in situations like this, could you give us a follow-up, tell us what he did?
Yeah.
And then so I can tell Jasmine on the next show, because I'm curious, like, I wonder, is it like something petty or is it something major? Because if it is something major, you can just tell him, he did this, that, and the other. Like he stole my car. He basically used my credit card without permission or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then you don't mind telling all the guests that. Like,
right.
Like, you're wondering he's not here because he's a piece of shit. Like, I wouldn't mind that. But if it's just, it depends. So give us more context and we can maybe address it at the top of the next.
Right.
Okay, so my next question is, how big do women really like it? Is it more about size or stamina? The question everybody wants to know. I got a lot of
no.
that are similar to that. I'll let
Really?
you go first, just because
Yeah.
I do think it's not always the same for women either. Like it can be different.
This is going to sound crazy. I'm not a size queen, even though I'm 6'3". I know it sounds like, and before I got married, I used to get a lot of men, you know what I'm saying? Because they see me, they go, oh, well, she can handle it. Because, you know, a lot of men who are big in size, they tend to go for women who are very, very, very promiscuous, or overweight women, or tall women. And I let them know, like, no, I'm not a size queen. I don't like that. And it's to each his own, because I have my two best friends, whoop, honey, size queens. And I sound like the inexperienced one. I like stamina. Okay. That's very important to me. I don't like somebody who's going to like start getting out of breath, you know, after 2 minutes. I'm like, no. Okay. I mean, you can take a couple of breaks after 15 minutes, but stamina and technique is very important.
Yeah, I'd be hard pressed to find a woman who says technique is not important. I think that's one we all would agree on. Similarly, like my best friend is also like big on size. I'm not. I think I kind of mentioned this before too, but I have like a pretty tight pelvic floor. So literally like,
oh, that's right. You did say that.
Yeah. I don't even like looking at them. I don't like anything like in that realm. And if anything, I like a guy who's really good at like foreplay, because I need to be very like turned on and ready to go for it to not be uncomfortable for me. So for me, like stamina is nice. Once I'm in it, I want to do it, but also like, can you turn me on really well? How good is your foreplay? Like those things like make me like really just wanting it. Like that to me is such an integral part of a good sex life for me.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of women. I do know that when you ask women a lot of the time, like, hey, do you wish that you had like more, like, it seems like a lot of women do opt in for like more foreplay, and that can look different. Not everyone likes the same type of foreplay, but I do think a lot of times like, no woman,
because it takes a while to rev us up.
Yeah. Like just, to get wet and everything. No, a lot of women aren't just like, oh, I want someone who just comes on and starts banging away. That doesn't, that's not what we're Oh my God, that reminds me of something that Andrew Wilson said in that thing. Okay, I'm not gonna Moving on.
When you say the devil's name, he will appear, okay? Sure. All right. What are some subtle red flags, things a man might say or do early on, even if he seems attractive or successful, that would instantly eliminate him during your vetting process? Not the obvious stuff like being rude or a cheater, but the low-key signs that expose his mindset or intentions. Also, do you ever intentionally test a man in the beginning just to see how they respond, like little ways to reveal their true character, or whether they fold underneath pressure? So I guess we'll start with the first question. What are the subtle red flags, things a man might say or do early on, even if he seems attractive or successful, that would instantly eliminate him during your vetting process?
You want to go first, or I don't really care if you want to go first.
You go ahead. Go first. Jazmen.
Okay, because I feel like when you ask, then I go first, and then when I ask, it seems
let's do it that way. That's great.
Yeah, that way we don't have to like. So like think about the traits that you really care about in a partner, and then see if he exhibits those. So for instance, like one thing I always look about is how is his relationship with like the other women in his life, like his sisters, like his mother, his coworkers. Like, does he speak about women like negatively? Is he misogynistic in those ways? Does he showcase empathy towards those people? Like I always look, if I the man I'm with is going to be opening my door, but I also want to see that he's opening the door for old ladies. I want to see that he's opening the door for families. I want to see that he's in the line. If there's a mother who's like in the TSA line and she's trying to pick up, that he's helping all of those women, not just women that he's attracted to. So that's like one example. But yeah, and even just to go to the second question, yeah, I test them all the time. I'll ask a million questions and I'm never looking for the answer to that specific. I'm trying to see what I can find out about them. Like I'll be like, oh, how's your relationship? Like, are you close with your sisters? I don't really give a fuck. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of person he is through those types of questions. So yeah, and maybe I can add on to that once Tree goes, because I probably have more to add, but yes.
Okay, so red flag, you know what? I would have to say disrespect if you're rude to the waitress or the waiter, okay, that's an instant no second date immediately.
No divas
So
there.
yeah, I don't tolerate that. I don't tolerate, disrespect to the wait staff. So there's that. You know what? I have so many like subconscious things during the vetting process, but I can tell you right now, it's like, but they're instinct. They're based upon my instincts. So it's like, I look to see, just like Jasmine says, I see how he's going to answer something, because I want to see if he puts himself as the main character. I'm never going to date somebody has the main character syndrome. It'll never work between us, right? So I'm going to ask a lot of questions, and I'm always going to ask, like, what happened with your last relationship? And I'm going to see if he's going to say, well, she was crazy, and like he doesn't take any accountability whatsoever. I'm just going to see a lot of that as well. But instant no second date is being rude. Being rude to the wait staff. He has no etiquette whatsoever. So if he not only to hold the door, but if he sits before I sit, like, okay. And I like being treated like a woman. Like, so he'll say, so what are you interested in? And he's interested in what in order for the both of us. So there's some things, but that's not that's not an instant. If he doesn't ask me what I want to eat and then order for both of us, that's not an instant, like, no second date. But it does
take, like, if you say, oh, I'm cold, like, does he care? Does he see it?
Right.
You guys can move. Does he try to move you from if there's like a fan? Does he try to give you his coat? Like, or if he's just like, yeah, it's cold in here, then you're like, and then I also feel like communicating early on to know how they deal with that, I think is a big one. Both of us were very blunt. And so even if something isn't really bothering me, if anything he does, like, if he like, or, like the being rude, like, even if he's not rude, but maybe like he doesn't look up when someone's talking to him, like he's on his phone and like the waitress comes, doesn't look up, I'll be like, oh, like, that's kind of, I was like, you don't make eye contact with people when they're talking to you. Don't you think that's kind of rude? And then seeing how if they get defensive, if they get anything that's
good one.
Like, oh my God, you're right. You know what? Like, cause that happened to me once, and that guy ended up being really, he's like, I've been playing this game and I've been so addicted to this game on my phone that it's making me like not look up at people. I'm just going to delete it right now. And he did it.
Wow.
And so helping correct his behavior. And two, you're seeing that this person can see when they're wrong. They can listen to you and they can take concrete steps to improve, because you're never going to meet someone who doesn't do anything ever to annoy you. So I think bringing that stuff up early, instead of always wondering, like, does he like me? Is he going to get mad? That helps you really like gauge if they're a good partner,
Yeah. And I, absolutely. I think most women test men. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Do you think some women don't test men in the,
Yeah,
not only in the beginning, but throughout the relationship?
The really big pick-me's don't test men. I would say.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. They don't.
The ones that are just trying to do everything for him and trying to make sure he's just perfect because they think that's going to make him like her, I think they're not testing men. Although, unless you consider that whole thing a big test, but
yeah. I oh, that's true. I do test. Here's a fun, because like you all know, I met my husband at the gym, and this was just a silly way of me testing him. I would look at him, wipe my sweat off with my gym towel, and I purposely like throw it on the ground. And he picks it up every time.
Yeah, I don't think we ever stop testing them. Like, even like now, like if I'm like, oh, okay, if you're like long distance and like, oh, maybe I should go back like Friday or Saturday. I'm like, whatever you want. Actually, I think you should go back Friday because I have things to do, because I want them to be like, no, I need to spend every last minute with you.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like we're constantly doing this. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I know the men don't like it because they call it a test, but I don't call it a test. It's just like, men like to stay on their toes. I think they do. I haven't had any complaints yet, but I think like if you don't do that for some reason, like you gotten to the point where you're complacent or you're just like, okay, I got it, everything where I am. I always, when you don't test someone, or like yourself don't go through a test, you'll forget a subject. I'm a sadist, and I am also an instigator. My husband knows this, so I
Yeah.
do little tests. So then, well, I don't call it testing. I always do little testing, and it's fun. It's not anything that's gonna make them angry.
No, you're not. Yeah. And also, like, I think a way to avoid being caught up in these traps is just to make your intentions known and clear and stick with it. Don't be like, oh, but she said this. Just be like, no, I want to see you longer, or no, I want this, or no, that, like, don't let yourself be like, like flustered or anything.
Right. Yeah.
And that's also how you can stay strong with what you actually say. And then usually that's the right answer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree.
Y'all know what the right answer is. Don't act dumb. I don't know what, yeah. I feel like it's not that hard.
No, it's not.
Okay, there's this girl at work that I like, but I can't seem to tell if she likes me back. She seems to go out of her way to talk to me and flirt with me when she can. But once I asked her if she wanted to get dinner outside of work, she made up an excuse and got very dismissive. What is going on here? Why do women play these kinds of games?
Oh.
You want to tell us?
We do play games, don't we? I think, okay. I don't know her, but this is me projecting. I think she wants more of the chase. I think that, probably also if she denied dinner outright, try something else like coffee or find out what she's interested in. So if she's interested in like a jazz festival that's going down the street, she's been talking about it. Say, hey, just lie and say, hey, I got tickets, want to go? And then go buy the tickets if she says yes. If she says no, you didn't waste any money. So I would have to say, like, to me, this is like this could be a shit test, or this could be a test to see, if this is what you're really interested in. And then some women, like I'm that way. My husband asked me out 5 times to go out with him before I said yes. So I can relate to her because I just played hard to get because I'm a bitch. Yeah.
I would say the same thing. Like, I would do this exact kind of thing. Like, and we're also not always like, we're kind of indecisive sometimes. So maybe I'm at the point where I like flirting with you. I like when you come in. I like talking to you. But like now you're jumping the gun too fast, and that like turns me off. Maybe I want to flirt for like 2 more months. And then,
right.
Like, don't kill the vibe, because sometimes there are those guys that like you're like, okay, kind of, but if they go in too fast, like you're saying, then you're like, oh, like a whole dinner, like that's like a law. I gotta get ready.
That's too soon.
Yeah, like hours with you, and now it's gonna get kind of like awkward. Whereas at work with coworkers, and I just want to really relish in those moments where she likes coming up to you, she likes joking with you, she likes laughing with you. Like those are really important, not only in how much she likes you, but like the kind of relationship that you're gonna have. Like, like you want to be that way if you guys end up getting together. You guys want to be that way forever. So don't try to like push it too fast until like now, like let me put on a suit and go to a nice dinner. Like just have fun, respond to her. Like if she's cracking jokes, you crack jokes, like make time to talk to her too. She likes flirting with you, so keep the flirting going, but don't make it too formal. Cause I think when guys do the switch to formal, like I always get annoyed. Like there's that guy you love flirting with, you like hang out with, and then he sends you that text like, hey, so like I've noticed like we're flirting a lot. And like, no.
Oh God, no, you're messing it up.
Like, am I catching on to the right thing? And I get it. Like, we're crazy because on one hand we want you to communicate, but on the other hand we're like, but there is a balance, and I don't know how to exactly like explain to you how to get that balance, but there is a balance. And a good sign is when she's like, responding, and she's like, as soon as when you saw, it's a good thing you caught that she was dismissive and she didn't want to do that. So now not to like push on that, and to go back to what was comfortable for a while, and then work from there, and then take maybe a different approach.
Also, try something cute, like if you get coffee, or find out how she likes her coffee, or something like if she drinks coffee, and then out of the blue, don't like ask how she likes her coffee, or bring it up in a nonchalant way. Or if you notice that when she makes her coffee, saying you see how she puts sugar in it, just pay attention to those details, how many sugar she puts in there, and if she puts any creamer. And then several days later, like, hey, I was at Starbucks and I got a coffee and I got your coffee. You like to put 3 packages of sugar with some vanilla creamer, right? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, do like if you want to win her over, like women love when men pay attention to detail, right?
Yeah.
So I think
And then,
that'll
like,
get her to say
like,
yes
like
sooner.
I like getting roasted a little. Like I like a guy who can kind of poke fun at me and whatever. Like do
Yeah.
that. Or, like, you know, if you're gonna text her outside of work, like use like an inside joke, or maybe there was some crazy customer that came in and you saw something that were like something funny. Like you text us
Right.
something funny, we're always responding.
Oh, absolutely.
The text.
Absolutely.
Instead of like, oh, he's gonna ask me on a date, fuck, how do I answer this? And you gotta be like diplomatic with it. Don't put her in those kinds of situations too early, for sure.
I think women, for the most part, love to laugh, and if you have a good sense of humor, you got us. Okay, you got us halfway there, right?
Yeah, I think a guy that can make a woman laugh, even if she'll like deny it or like, oh no, there's nothing, but you'll be the guy she ends up marrying. Like the kind of guys who can make me laugh, they stay on my roster for years.
Absolutely. I married one, okay? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're always around and they're always like, you know, and then you end up one day like that's the one you end up with because you want to try the hot guys, whatever. But the guy that can make you laugh, like you never want to let him go. You always want him around. You always want to tell him what's up. You want to tell him about your day. You want to tell him about what you're up to, and being that guy. I think a lot of guys worry that it's going to friend zone them, and we could talk about ways to avoid that. I actually think I have a question about that. Ways to avoid that, but I do feel like never underestimate how much just being that funny guy who can make her crack up is actually helping you.
Right. Our next stream will be this Friday, May the 23rd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time and on June the 13th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. To see the uncensored VODs from the past 3 months, simply go to my Patreon at patreon.com/justtree411. The direct link is available in the description box and pinned comment. See you then.